take two more.
Yes, sir. Alvin Fernandez of the Gupan City. So when I was in elementary, high school, and college, I was taught that water has a boiling point of 100 degrees centigrade. They also taught us that water has a freezing point of 0 degrees centigrade. And they told us that if the temperature was 1 degree, 2 degree, or 3 degrees centigrade, then water will not become ice. Now, if there is an increase of 0.74 degrees centigrade in the North Pole or that in the South Pole, or even a 1 degree centigrade increase, then I do believe that areas in the North Pole and that of the South Pole will have melting polar caps. And we also have in the Gupan City crab fattening. Now, our crab fattening in the Gupan City was a victim of one great typhoon, because crabs usually have a certain salinity level for them to live. Now, when there was strong water coming from the upstream, so the salinity of the water went down. When the salinity of the water went down, the crabs suddenly were dying. I do believe that it is the same principle that they have for corals that are actually around the North Pole and that of the South Pole. And with the increasing melting of the polar caps, as you have mentioned, 2 trillion tons just for 2003, then the salinity of the water in the coral areas near the coast of this North Pole and South Pole might also go down. And if this goes down, they call it coral bleaching. That's why whether the debate of global warming or global cooling is at hand right now, the certainty is if there are melting polar caps in the North Pole and that of the South Pole, then indeed we are greatly affected, because this melting of ice in the North Pole and that of the South Pole goes to the sea. And right now, even in our country, one of the best-selling products are what we call sardines. I do believe it's the same in the different parts of the world. It's herring or herrings that are also located in cold areas. Now, if the corals in this area will suddenly die because of the decreased salinity, then there shall also be decrease in food production coming from these fishes that actually grow in these corals in the North Pole and that of the South Pole. But I am here just simply to make a comment that indeed global warming is a threat to our world, and it also happens that I do believe that the solution to global warming should be done both on the big scale and that of the small scale, because accordingly in 2006 there are 6.5 billion people. Now, 6.5 billion people in 2006, I do believe in 2009 or 2010, it would be more. Now, if this 6.5 billion people could simply change their lifestyle of waste segregation, and that's what you have mentioned, it is not the recession that threatens you, it is the jumping back of the economy, because consumption will become higher. That's what Mr. Professor Dan Steinbach mentioned a while ago, that he's more fearful of the regrowth because of consumption, of which with the rising consumption, there will be rising production. Production of products that will be using again these fossil fuels for the production. Now, the thing is, if we have 6.5 billion people in this planet, and if they produce 1 kilogram of waste per day, but if we are able to reduce 100 grams per person per day, then that will be a great impact in making our world more sustainable if each individual shall contribute.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Last two questions. There's a lady at the back. No more? Okay, we'll have the last question, sir.
Good morning. I'm Pedro Makitalo, member of the Foreign Chamber Council of the Philippines and president of the Philippine-Finland Association. To both gentlemen, to Congressman Golez and Dr. Steinbach, basically in the 70s, I have been here since the 70s, I've grown up here, the forest cover of the Philippines was 50%. Now it is 5%. And it is a fact that without the forests you don't have food, and the impact of the climate change on the Philippines will be more severe because of the decline in the forests. More mudslides, more floods, and we all know this, Mondoy, etc., and the coming disasters. So Congressman Golez had mentioned about what has happened in the 60s, 50s, and the logging ban. Now, towards the Green Philippines, I've noticed that SMX, for example, has committed to tree planting as part of their production. So my question is that maybe first to Congressman Golez, that how can we take steps to make the forestry industry attractive and profitable? Because in the last conference we had on business and the environment, a comment came out from the chairman of the League of Mayors, Mayor Sarmiento, that no one is really interested in the tree planting because what's in it for them. And tree planting seems to be a struggle. You know, it seems to be a photo op opportunity. But in countries like Finland, where we come from, and Dr. Steinbach is from there, in Sweden, there's a 70% forest cover that's permanent, but yet these countries are the world's biggest loggers. And the profit motive needs to come in. And so my question is, what are your thoughts on making this industry, which is badly needed for the Philippines, not only because of the coming catastrophes or the climate typhoons, which will impact worse, but also because it will restore the water tables. In Cebu, it is already saline. I think Congressman Acosta mentioned it is already salt water in the town. Why? Because of no forest cover. So the forests would harvest water and provide biomass for alternative energy, but this has to be profit. We have to get into business. So your comment